Since when did men start wearing bonnets too, man? Shit.
Bonjour tout le monde. Mes soeurs bien. Welcome to Talks of Sensualism with Prophetess Eve, the space where we celebrate the art of seduction, sensuality, and unapologetic confidence. Here, we don't follow trends, we set them. We don't imitate, we create. Women look to us to teach, guide, and inspire. We are the mothers, the leaders, and the blueprint for the woman others aspire to become. And in this space, I'll show you how to own your allure, your presence, and your power so you can step fully into the woman you are meant to be. Confident, magnetic, and unapologetically radiant. This is Talks of Sensualism with Prophetess Eve. And today, we're stepping into that power together. All right, you guys, let's get straight into it. We are going to bust through this bonnet and pajama craziness. I want to discuss the laziness and the lack of hygiene amongst Black women. In our community, we have normalized laziness, especially in how we present ourselves in public. And I'm talking about bonnets. I'm talking about pajamas in Walmart, house shoes in restaurants. I'm seeing bonnets out on the bus, in the stores. You know, you still got the pimple patches all over your face. You're wearing them like they're facial stickers out in public during the day. You know, no bra, just no grooming whatsoever. Again, you guys, please, I don't want to hear, oh my God, well, white women do it too, because this is the issue that I'm having with Black women. When it comes to the lowest parts of ourselves that need to be corrected, that we should correct, that we should want to correct as women, as Black women, as women who see ourselves as queens and goddesses, we love to put ourselves in the shadows of white women and say, well, they do it too. If you want to be white, why not be the highest form of a white woman? Why must you resort to the lowest form of a white woman, which is obese and unkept? I mean, since we're in the shadow of white women and all. So crazy. And when it's brought up, everybody wants to bring up culture. They want to say, oh, well, this is just who Black women are. You know, bonnets is a headdress, as if Black women do not have millions of headdresses. They'll say, oh, well, we're just running to the store, or they're going to gaslight you and say, well, how come you don't know? Or what if you don't know if they were busy or if they were in a rush? I'm literally in Target. It's 4 p.m. and I'm seeing mad Black women in bonnets and pajamas. If you're in a rush and it's 4 p.m., why are you still in your pajamas? Another excuse that you hear from Black women is that, oh, we're mothers, we work, we don't have time. Again, that I'm sick of the excuses. Black women are not the only women on earth who are mothers and who have to work. Everyone has the same amount of time in the day. How you choose to spend that time and how you choose to prioritize that time is completely up to you as a human being. Again, Black women cannot take any form of correction. So when we bring up, you know, matters in which we can change as Black women and take on more healthier behaviors and patterns, it's always, well, we shouldn't have to do that. What's wrong with what we're doing now? Respectability politics. However, here's the issue. How you show up is your responsibility. And how you show up spiritually also affects everything that you attract. And how you show up naturally also says a lot about who you are spiritually. And when it comes to spirit, a lot of Black women love to gaslight people into thinking, oh, we're just the most spiritual people ever. But we don't understand discernment. We don't understand truly as it is in the natural, it is in the spirit. If you look dirty in the natural, guess what? The issue that I'm finding is that we get super offended when people notice this aspect of us and then they call it out and they point it out. Kind of like Lily Gaddis, you know, that racist white podcaster, whatever. I don't want to make her more popular than what she already is. She did on Halloween decided to come online and do blackface. She had on a bonnet, she had on long nails, she had on hoops, you know, the lashes, and jewelry. And she was like, you know, you guys complain about alopecia, but it's all self-inflicted. She was like, look at how you guys dress. This is how you guys look on the daily, and you have the nerve to want to fight in Walmart and Target. And Black women were super upset, and they were like, you know, you guys are obsessed with us. This isn't all Black women. This isn't all Black women. And just a month ago, when Black women were discussing wearing bonnets outside and how, you know, it's unhygienic and it's unclassy, Black women in masses okay, came online and was like, it shouldn't matter. You know, there's nothing wrong with black women wearing bonnets outside. Now, all of a sudden, when a white woman comes online and she points out what she sees from black women, it's, oh, you're obsessed with us. I think you guys need to understand, it's not that people are obsessed with the black women. It's the fact that what she pointed out is what everyone sees from the majority of black women. So if you as a black woman do not like the way she came online and represented us, or the way she came online and made fun of us, even though yes, it was completely racist, she did not tell a lie. Okay, she told not one lie. Instead of getting upset with her, okay, which you have the right to be, it's not going to change anything getting upset with her and calling her racist. She knows she's racist. That's how she gets the views. Okay, you guys paid her. Congratulations. However, get upset with the black women who reinforce this stereotype on black women, because as you guys said, it is not all black women, because it's not me and it's not you, right? I'm more angry at the black women who gave her this idea and this stereotype. See, before, when it was blackface and white people used to do blackface and they used to make fun of black people and the way we looked, we could definitely say, hey, you know, this is completely wrong. You guys are over exaggerating our features. You guys are over exaggerating who we are. What Lily Gaddis did was not an over-exaggeration. We live in a strange time where black women will say, you know, don't judge me. That's anti-black. That's misogynistic. Listen, it's not racism to say that you look lazy, okay? It's not anti-black to say that you look unkept. It's not oppression to say that you need to keep up with yourself. It's not oppression or oppressive to say, hey, maybe we need to stop being so degenerate and so overexposed in the way that we dress and actually learn how to style ourselves for our body types, okay? It's not discrimination to say you need hygiene and self-respect. We cannot demand respect while presenting ourselves like we do not respect ourselves. The issue is black women want everyone to see us as queens and goddesses without us having to actually put in the work of being and representing ourselves as queens and goddesses. And again, this goes into the delusion surrounding the identity that black women have created for ourselves. You have to understand that people are reacting to what they see. They could care. It's common sense. We know it's not all black women. However, people are going to be more amped to focus on the negative aspect of the black race than the positive aspect. So if they're seeing 80% of black women outside in pajamas and bonnets, they're obviously getting an influx of the negative influence of black women, or the negative side of black women. What are you expecting? We cannot control their eyes, but we can control what they see. We can control our presentation. You ever heard those black girls who say, well, it don't matter. They all see us as mammies and they all see us as animals anyway. Might as well. What are they trying to say? Like, we might as well act like animals and look like mammies because that's how they see us. Like, how do you guys not see how this is working in their favor if this is how they're thinking, quote unquote? And then black women are the main ones online wanting to talk about how white women are not hygienic and how they bathe with their hand and woo-doo-doo. Most women who run outside in pajamas and bonnets, all women who run outside in pajamas and bonnets, they're out in public, they're touching public items, they're sitting on public seats, they're doing whatever in their pajamas and their bonnets. When they go home, guess what they're doing, you guys? They're getting their unhygienic asses right back in the bed. Okay, that means you did not shower because you didn't shower before you got out of the bed, because if you did, you would have taken off the bonnet and the pajamas, okay? You did not brush your teeth. You didn't freshen up. You didn't prepare yourself to be in public, and you didn't cleanse yourself spiritually or physically, okay? Again, as it is in the natural, it is in the spirit. Getting super convinced that a lot of black women do not practice good hygiene until a man is coming over. What you're doing is simply rolling out of bed, and you're carrying the same energy from your bed into the world, and then you taking the world's energy and then rolling your big ass right back into the bed. And a lot of you are wondering why you're having nightmares and cryptic ass dreams. Again, you can't be super spiritual as a lot of black women claim to be, but you're doing very unhygienic things naturally. If you have bad hygiene naturally and on this realm, you will not have good spiritual hygiene. It does not work that way. Wearing pajamas and bonnets and house shoes outside, that is not confidence. It's not self-love. It's pure laziness and self-neglect, period. Again, how you present yourself is extremely spiritual. Looking unkept, dirty, undone, and careless, it invites spirits of stagnation. It doesn't just invite spirits of stagnation, it also shows. And this is another reason why I talk about the things that I talk about, because for all of my evolved men and women, evolved black men and women, I need for you guys to understand proper discernment. When it comes to proper discernment, you have to understand that from a natural and from a spiritual perspective, okay? A person who is unkept, dirty, who's outside in their pajamas, their bonnets, you're looking at spirits of stagnation, disorder, low self-worth, depression, confusion, chaos, and neglect. Don't believe me? Pay attention to the women who carry themselves this way and their behaviors. Your body is a temple. Okay, and how you treat the temple determines what spirits feel comfortable entering it. A lot of us don't understand that we give spirits legal access to our realm, to our personal universe, to our soul, to our spirit, just by the things we entertain, the way we can handle ourselves. If you cannot take 10 minutes to get dressed, if you can't brush your hair or your teeth, and if you cannot wash your body every day in a ritualistic fashion, then spiritually you're open, you're unprotected, and you're vulnerable, and you also don't hold any authority in the spirit realm. So that means when certain attacks come at you or when certain things happen to you, you're not going to be able to spiritually defend yourself. And this also makes sense as to why a lot of these women who carry themselves in this fashion, who go outside in pajamas and bonnets, they all complain about the same thing. They're all baby mamas. They all have the same exact issue. They lack the discernment because spiritually and naturally they are unclean. Again, there are two types of women. You have women who are taught and women who are not taught. Now, the women who are taught, these are women who were raised with discipline, grooming, femininity, public etiquette, and spiritual hygiene. They were taught by mothers, aunties, or grandmothers who understood presentation. Understand, at one point, Black women were the most conservative women on earth. However, we have to understand it was not all Black women, all right? Okay? At some point during the 80s, everything switched. So it became from conservative to super degenerate. Now, the women who were not taught, these are the women who were raised in chaos, disorder. They were probably from the projects, the hood, and they never learned feminine discipline. But here's the thing. Just because you weren't taught doesn't mean you cannot learn, all right? You have to unnormalize the dysfunction that you have normalized and culturalized. At some point as a woman, you must teach yourself and want to teach yourself, not just for you, but for future generations. Now, if you're feeling the episode so far, make sure you comment, you like, and subscribe. And send some love to the Cash App just to keep the content flowing. And just as a reminder, you guys, December 1st, in just a couple of days, I will be releasing my book, From Stage to Altar, where I am discussing my journey into the adult entertainment industry, the reason why I got in, the spiritual things that took place that took me out of it, and the reason why I am talking to you guys about the things that I'm talking to you guys today. I want you guys to understand why it is necessary historically and spiritually for Black women to heal our hypersexuality, our femininity, as well as our mentality, not just for us, but again for future generations. Now let's get back to the show. The reason why Black women don't like to hear about like the bonnets and the pajamas and the being unkept and going outside with all of this stuff on, is because deep down they know it's true. All right. We know we've allowed the standard to fall for ourselves. We know we've allowed the bare minimum to become normal. We know the masses of Black women are representing us as Black women poorly. And when people from other cultures, hell, even when people from our own culture, clutch their purses and their pearls when they see us, or whisper or stare or judge, we want to scream racism and anti-Black. Oh, you can't say anything about a Black woman. Literally come to an age where Black women have begun to bully people out of their opinions. And I want to remind everybody of their First Amendment rights. Black women as a community, we have to work on our presentation, even if that means checking our sister, cousin, auntie's mother. And I'm going to say this with love. All right. If you're too lazy to get dressed, if you're too lazy to do your hair the night before, put on your bonnet, go to bed, wake up 30 minutes before you have to go to work, or even hell, an hour or 2 hours, prepare yourself. You are too lazy to take care of your vaginal health, okay? Because grooming is grooming, period. The same energy that tells you I don't feel like putting on clothes is the same energy that tells you I don't feel like washing up. Okay, I don't feel like trimming or caring for myself. I don't feel like detoxing or cleansing. It's all connected. And then again, this makes sense as to why so many Black women are obese. It makes sense as to why Black women are leading in reproductive health care issues. Those, both of which is closely related to dieting and vaginal health. You cannot pinpoint the spirit of laziness. Laziness in one area becomes laziness in all areas. All right. If a spirit is active in every area. Now, this is destroying our image as Black women. And the saddest part, all right, the majority of Black women in public spaces do show up like this, which means that becomes our collective image as Black women. So when you guys scream, not all Black women, understand, we know this already. Understand the not all Black women are telling the Black women who's actually partaking in the behavior to stop doing it, and they are screaming not all Black women are doing it though. This is why I said if you know you partake in the behavior, please stop Please stop saying not all black women. Black women, we're already not seen as feminine, polished, or disciplined. We're already seen as loud, unkept, aggressive, lazy, unbothered. And yes, a lot of that comes from stereotypes, but a large part of it comes from what people are seeing every day. For black women to accept that a lot of us have just taken these stereotypes and said, fuck it, you know what, hell, it's mine, I'll run with it. As evolved black women and black women who are building the blueprint to their own life, we must stop following the majority of black women. We have to go our separate ways. We have to. Because the majority of black women are not leading us to elevation. They are leading us to sheer and pure embarrassment. You know, entitled to everything, embarrassed by nothing. If the masses of black women are unkept, lazy, angry, and ungroomed, why would you want to follow them? We are the daughters of women who birthed civilizations. We are the descendants of elegant, disciplined, and spiritually powerful women. Our ancestors did not walk in bonnets, all right? They didn't present themselves like they had given up. We must return to our feminine principles and feminine discipline. Black women, we have to, at night, do your hair. This is even going into learning how to do your natural hair. Do a nice natural braid out or twist out at night. Put your bonnet on. You know, grease your scalp every day. If you're not, you can't. You put the bonnet on. If the bonnet's not on, the wig is on. You know, if you're not taking care, you're not taking care of yourself. You're not taking care of you. You're not greasing your hair. This is why a lot of black women are bald headed. Get dressed, okay? Before you walk out the door, shower, brush your teeth, groom yourself, honor your body, honor your femininity. This is all a part of, you know, owning your femininity and partaking in feminine behaviors. We complain about not having the opportunity to be feminine, but then we don't see how we take care of ourselves and carry ourselves. Your public image is not random. It is a reflection of your inner world. If you want to be respected, admired, and desired like we say we are or deserve, if you want your daughters to grow up with dignity, and if you want to reclaim your feminine power, then it starts with something as simple as getting dressed and taking care of yourself before you walk out the door. You guys, this has been Talks of Sensualism with Prophetess Eve. Remember, step into your elegance, step into your discipline, and step into your feminine power. Until then, you guys, I will see you on the next video.